How's it going, everybody? So I did a video where I picked a horror movie from every year in the 2010 decade, my favorite from each year, and now I'm going to do the 2000s. A lot of you said that you wanted me to do this, and I probably will do 90s. I will definitely think about doing 80s, because there's a lot to choose from there. 90s, not so much. I don't care about the 90s horror too much, but there's some to pick from, just not a whole lot. So I'm not too enthusiastic about making a best of 90s because there's just not that much. But the 2000s, that was the decade of remakes, PG-13 movies, and PG-13 remakes. A lot to pick from in the 2000s. I will give you a few honorable mentions in every single year. I won't go into depth about these movies. I will only talk about the ones I pick as the winner. So, let's start with the year 2000. Let's not waste any time. Here are some honorable mentions. American Psycho, starring Christian Bale. Hellraiser 5, Inferno, directed by Scott Derrickson, who did Sinister. Urban Legends Final Cut, the sequel to Urban Legends. Scream 3, the weakest of the Scream franchise, but still a fun watch. And a guilty pleasure pick would be Jack Frost 2, a movie I just reviewed recently, so check out that. But my favorite, of course, easily, without thinking, no hesitation whatsoever, is Final Destination. This was supposed to be an X-Files episode, but they turned it into a movie. This is directed by James Wan, who went on to direct Final Destination 3, written by Craig Perry. This is a movie that spawned 4 sequels and upcoming reboots by Marcus Dunstan, and this is a franchise that's all about the kills. They're very creative, they're tense, they're gory, they're grisly as hell, and they're just awesome. The premise and idea behind this movie is something that is just very unnerving. The idea that death is around every corner and is stalking you and will kill you and there's nothing you can do about it. That is just a great premise, and I love this movie. 2001 didn't have too many to pick from, but a couple of honorable mentions will be Jeepers Creepers, a movie directed by Victor Salva, who is a controversial person to talk about now because he is a pedophile. 13 Ghosts, which is of course a ghost movie, a haunted house film with the one and only Matthew Lillard and directed by Steve Beck, who did Ghost Ship. Jason X, the cheesiest, campiest Jason film of the whole franchise. And Donnie Darko, a Jake Gyllenhaal movie with a couple of neat twists in it, so check that one out if you can. But my favorite film from 2001, according to the internet, it could be a different year, but I'm sure it was 2001, Joyride. Candy cane. That voice is iconic, it's creepy, it gives you goosebumps. If you were in that situation, it is just a thrill ride from beginning to end. You got the great duo of Paul Walker, rest in peace, and Steve Zahn, I believe. Just they're back and forth. They're very funny. There's some humor in here, but it doesn't get in the way of the tension. And they got the love interest in here. It's kind of like a little love triangle. There's some deleted scenes. They were supposed to go further with that love triangle, but they kind of took some scenes out. It has a few different endings, but I like the ending we get. And Kenny Kane, whatever they call him, Rusty Nail, he is not to fuck with. 2002, we're starting to get closer to the remake craze. There were some remakes before 2000, like Psycho, but the 2000s and 2002 on up, it was just remake. And the first remake of 2002, an honorable mention, will be The Ring. I'm thinking this is a Japanese remake. It could not be, but who cares? Then you have Ghost Ship, directed by Steve Beck, who did 13 Ghosts. This one has a killer opening, a fun ending, but a lazy middle that I don't care for. Dog Soldiers, a movie I just watched recently to see if I could put it on this list, and it is a fun werewolf movie. It overstays its welcome a little bit, but it's a unique werewolf movie to check out. 28 Days Later, one of the better zombie movies to check out. Kind of a slow burn, a little artsy, but it's very grisly and brutal. Cabin Fever, one of the first movies by Eli Roth. And 2 very guilty pleasure honorable mentions, just to have a blast if you're wanting to see something that's terrible, so terrible that you can just have a good time watching it. That is Terror Toons and Survival Island, the Killer Pinata movie. But my favorite film from 2002 is Frailty. This is a film that flew under the radar. No one ever talks about it. It has Matthew McConaughey. It is directed by Bill Paxton, and it stars Bill Paxton, rest in peace. This movie also has a couple of very neat twists towards the end. It tells a story about a guy who thinks that he is God's messenger, or he kills for God, basically. And he convinces his sons that God speaks to him, and one of the sons is not buying it, and the other son is. And then the other son grows up to be a killer, and the other one, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a very fun, twisty movie, and it's awesome. So check out Frailty. 2003, we got a franchise that started in 2003. First honorable mention, Wrong Turn. fun movie. Unfortunately, it started a terrible franchise afterwards. Then you got High Tension by Alexander Aja. I love his films, and this was his start, and it's got a neat twist at the end. Freddy vs. Jason, which is just a blast. You got two icons going head to head. What's not to love there? Final Destination 2, a sequel to my favorite movie of 2000. It's not as good as the first one, but it does have the better kills and the better disaster opening. And two more guilty pleasure honorable mentions, movies that you can just have a blast with because they're fucking terrible, is House of the Dead, an arcade game that I grew up loving, and it got turned into a shitty movie that should have been called Island of the Dead. And then Monster Man, a monster truck driving psychopath. Check that one out, Blind. It's fun. It's funny as shit, and it just is zany as hell. But my favorite movie from 2003 goes to a remake, and that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre by Marcus Nispel, who did the Friday the 13th remake. He directed that one as well, and this has the original cinematographer of the original 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it has easily my favorite portrayal of Leatherface. This is the scariest one out of them all. This is the one I would want chasing me through the woods the least. I just think this movie is great. It's gritty, it's sweaty, you feel like you're in Texas the way it's shot and lit. The production design, the house is iconic now. R. Lee Ermey, rest in peace. I have to keep saying that. Everybody's dead. R. Lee Ermey, he's almost as scary as Leatherface himself. What a great addition to the family, because the family in the first one, Leatherface is the only one I really care for, but this one has a great addition to the family of the Sawyer family, or they changed the name in this one for some reason. I forget what they call themselves. The Hewitts. R. Lee Ermey, great fucking character. I love it. And a great ending. And the sexiest final girl of them all, Jessica Biel. Gotta mention that. 2004. What are some honorable mentions? Real quick, we got Dawn of the Dead, one of my favorite zombie movies of all time, especially when it comes to serious zombie movies. Alien vs. Predator, this one's okay. It's PG-13, but if you like aliens and you like the Predator franchise, this is a fun watch. Shaun of the Dead, one of my favorite comedy zombie movies. I love Simon Pegg. I like Nick Frost. I like their duo, and the comedy in this movie really lands. But my favorite from 2004 is Saw. I want to play a game. Game over. Boom. Jigsaw, the iconic killer now. This is a great franchise, and this is The Beginning by Lee Winnell. He stars in it. James Wan directing it. This is, I think, his first directing job, maybe his second. This is like his first American film, definitely. I would think. I think he did a Kevin Bacon film after this. I forget that. Death Sentence? Is that what that was called? Great movie also, but not horror. That's a revenge movie. Saw, great score, great concept, great tension. Started the torture porn genre. I don't get that title. I'm not jerking off when I'm watching this. I don't think it's porn. It's just torture, but not that much. The sequel's torture. This one, no. Iconic ending. Love it. Don't want to give it away in case you haven't seen it. If you haven't seen Saw, check out Saw. Great film. Now let's go over my 2005 honorable mentions. The sequel to Saw, Saw 2, great sequel. Santa's Slay, a very funny, campy B horror comedy about a killer buff Santa. The Devil's Rejects, probably one of the only good Rob Zombie movies in my opinion. Feast, which is a very funny creature feature by Marcus Dunstan. 2001 Maniacs, it's got some great kills in it, and it's very funny. I laugh my ass off when I watch it. It's got Lin Shaye and Robert Englund, worth checking out. But my favorite one, another remake. I didn't know it was a remake, and I might get shit on for saying this one over the other ones I just mentioned, but it's my opinion. House of Wax. This is a very good remake, and I love the idea of a whole town being made of wax. Paris Hilton, yeah, her acting shit, but she gets a cool kill with a pole through her head. Spoilers for this whole video, just so you know. I think you would expect it, right? These are old movies. They're over 10 years old, so if you haven't seen them, that's on you. Doesn't matter. But House of Wax, great concept, great killers. I like the idea of multiple killers. I like one of the killers' mask. He wears like a wax mask, and I just love that third act. It gets awesome. You got the brother-sister duo. I like a brother-sister duo in film. It's got some grisly kills in it that are awesome to look at. So House of Wax is a remake that is definitely worth checking out. It's kind of paint by the numbers, but it's still fun, and you don't hate yourself while watching it. 2006, we got some great honorable mentions here. We got Saw 3, my favorite sequel in the franchise. And then you got Dark Ride, which is one of those 8 films to die for movies. I like that one. And you got the Black Christmas remake. A lot of people hate this one. It is far inferior to the original Black Christmas, but it's still fun. It's got some Carnage Candy to munch on. Behind the Mask with Leslie Vernon. I haven't seen this one in over a decade, so I can't give an accurate description of how I feel about it, but I remember it was okay. A lot of people like it. Texas Chainsaw, The Beginning. This is the prequel to the best in the franchise, in my opinion, but this prequel, it carries the same tone and feel, so I like it. Slither, a horror comedy. I forget who made it, but it's got a good cast in it, and it's got some cool kills in it as well, and that's why we watch these horror movies. So Slither is a fun creature feature alien type movie. The Hills Have Eyes, one of the best horror remakes out there. It's directed by Alexander Aja, who did High Tension and all kinds of shit. This guy, you gotta keep your eye out on him. Final Destination 3, cannot skip over that. That is my favorite of the franchise. It has the best kills and the best final girl, in my opinion. But my favorite film of 2006 is Hatchet. I think this got a DVD release date in like 2007, but it was like on the road in 2006, so we'll put it in 2006. This is a film by Adam Green. This was his debut. He's done Frozen, which was in my the 2010 video I did. I just love this movie. It's a throwback to the 80s. You got a cool, unique, awesome ghost slasher in Victor Crowley who can rip people to shreds. He's got a hatchet. He's got a belt sander that's gas powered, even though they usually plug in. But this one's unique. And it's got a great body count, great kills, lots of gruesome shit. People's heads being ripped open. The practical effects are amazing. By John Carl Buechler. Rest in peace, yet again. You got a great horror alumni casting here with Robert Englund, Tony Todd, Kane Hodder. You got Joel David Moore in here. You got Deon Taylor from Scream 3. You got the guy from the Blair Witch movie. The list goes on and on. It is a love letter to slasher fans. It is made by a slasher fan, and it feels like it, and it looks like it, because it is. It's also hilarious. I laugh every time I watch it. The jokes never get old. They always land. 2007, we got some good honorable mentions here. We got a lot of good movies here. We got the Rob Zombie remake. I like it, but I like it less every time I watch it, so I'm gonna avoid it from now on. Dead Silence, the Lee Winnell, James Wan movie, after a film they did after Saw. Great twist, awesome premise. Drive Through, even though I tore it to shreds in my review, it's because it's a bad made movie, but damn is it fun watching. P2, a movie that was written by Alexander Aja, and this is a fun obsession film. I think that's the genre. Great movie to watch around Christmas. 1408, starring John Cusack and Samuel L. Jackson. This is based off of a Stephen King novel, I believe. John Cusack does a great performance, and it's got a few very sad moments. It's a tearjerker. 30 Days a Night, which takes place in Alaska, where it's nighttime for 30 days. Love that idea for a vampire movie. 28 Weeks Later, the sequel to 28 Days Later, which I think this is much better than that one. This one has all kinds of carnage in it. Then there's Shrooms, a movie about a group of teenagers that go into the woods, they get high, and then there's a killer on the loose, people are dying, and you don't know what's happening, and it has a very fun twist at the end. But my favorite movie from 2007 is The Mist. This has the Punisher himself in it, Thomas Jane. This is a Stephen King film adaptation. It's based off one of his books, like 1,000 other movies. But this is about a killer mist. There's creatures within the mist. You find out that they came from a laboratory somewhere up in the hills, or there's like a National Guard or something up there, and they opened up a wormhole into a different dimension. They all came in with the mist, and they're all stuck in this convenience store. You got one of the most annoying characters ever, but boy, is it fun to see her finally get taken down. You got some great creature effects in here. There's some shoddy CGI here and there, but there are some very macabre moments and a very dark, grim ending that is the best ending of all time. It's an ending that will either make you hate the film or make you love it for going there. So check out The Mist. 2008 was the weakest of all the years because there's hardly any to choose from, but a few honorable mentions will be Mirrors. I love this concept of you killing yourself. Your reflection is evil, and whatever it does to itself will happen to you. Midnight Meat Train has a weird ending, but I like some of the kills in here, and I am a fan of Carnage Candy, and there is some to be offered here. Then there's The Ruins. I don't want to give too much away about it. It's a fun movie. Check that one out. And then there's Strangers, one of the most popular home invasion movies to date. 3 killers, no motivation. But my favorite film from 2008 is Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat, not or R. This is a horror anthology. It's got like 4 or 5 different stories going on in the same town, and it's told not in order like Pulp Fiction, and they kind of all tie together at the end. You you can tie them together as you're watching it, especially on a second watch. You're like, oh, this is happening before that. Oh, this is how that connects into that. It's a fun watch the second time. It's a great, fun, fast-paced movie. I like Sam as a character. It's funny, doesn't take itself too serious. There's some great werewolf effects in here, some great atmosphere. It's definitely a Halloween movie and one to check out every holiday. So check out Trick or Treat if you haven't already. It is a blast. Now, the last year of the decade, 2009, what do we got? We got the Friday the 13th remake. I like it. It's not my favorite, nowhere near it, but it's got a great Jason portrayal and a decent body count. My Bloody Valentine, a great remake. It's a whodunit, and they really do a good job of bouncing you between character to character, red herring to red herring. You don't know who's doing it. Sorority Row, yet another remake and a whodunit. Zombieland, a horror comedy with some very fun characters to hang out with, and a awesome third act. Last House on the Left, yet another remake. This is a rape revenge movie, except the rapist, the person who was raped, their parents get the revenge. Saw 6, one of my favorite sequels in the franchise. I enjoy this one. It's got some of the better traps and some of the better twists in it. Laid to Rest, this is a film that was made by a special effects artist, so it has some great kills and special effects within it, but that's about it. But my favorite film from 2009 is Marcus Dunstan's The Collector. This is a movie with a very cool premise. A burglar breaks into a house that's already been broken into by a sadistic fucking psychopath who is an exterminator by day, exterminating bugs, and a killer exterminating people at night. He has traps set everywhere. This was supposed to be like a Saw prequel or something, I heard, but they decided to make it its own thing, and I'm glad they did. You got a great protagonist in Arkin who's badass. He has a goal that he needs to get this money, and you totally buy it. You're on board. You get his reason why he's breaking into this house, so you don't hate him. You actually are rooting for him, even though he's the bad guy-ish, but he's not the main bad guy. It's got its torture porn elements to it also, because it's, like I said, kind of like a Saw movie. There's a few moments where you have to suspend disbelief on how much this guy's able to do and how quickly. But I like this killer, and I like his getup, and I like the contacts that he has in his eyes. It makes him stand out. He is unique, and I can't wait for the third movie that we're supposed to get this year, The Collected. And those are my favorite horror movies from every year in the 2000 decade. Let me know if I should do the 90s or 80s in the comments below, and what your favorite movies from every single year in this decade are also in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this. Hit this like button, share with all your friends, and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.